Welcome back, everyone, to our gameplay series of Farm Manager 2018. So, I've had a chance to play a little bit more since doing this first video, and one of the joys of playing a brand new game when it comes out is I end up doing the first few videos without having a chance to really play the game a whole lot. So I go back and I look at those first few videos later on and I'm like, wow, I wish I would have done things a lot differently. And that's exactly what I'm getting into right now, because I've had a long time to play the game before recording this second video, and it is, this is definitely not the layout I would have gone with. Also, one of the reasons why the interesting part of an early game release is that you're going to have game updates, and we've already had our first update to this game, had a lot of balancing changes to it, as well as some bug fixes. So we're going to have to deal with that, and we're just going to see how this game flow goes now that we're going to have some balancing changes. So we've got some animals. We got a few cows over here. We got our 6 cows there. We're not messing with the animal husbandry just yet. On that, we're trying to get them up and going. We've got our grass turning into silage. The bad part about that is we got a ton of silage right now, but we've got to get our guy to come over and actually put it in storage so that it can ultimately be moved over to the cow shed so that they can have some food to eat. Also, we've got our guys up and going with the beekeeping. We've got 5 of those, 6 of those, total right now. And then we've got a full house here with our permanent employees, 6 of them as beekeepers, 1 working on the silage, and then 1 working with the cow. So the first thing I'm actually going to do in this video is a little bit of upkeep to get things where we need it with these employees. All right, so we're already 5 out of 5 here. We come back, we're 5 out of 5 here. And let's see, we're 1 out of 5 there. So let's go ahead and let's upgrade. You can see it's going to cost us a little bit of money, but we'll definitely make that money back. You can see, we trained a worker to max level, which updates one of our goals. So we're actually going to go through and we're just going to take care of this right now. So we're not going to worry about the manufacturing here with this person. And let's come in. So we're going to have all of these guys maxed out. Is that the one? Yeah. I lost track of which one I just clicked on. Okay, so now everybody is maxed out. Then let's come into this employee, and we want them to be maxed out on manufacturing. But before I do that, if you notice here, we have a minus 15% so far on the silage. And of course, we're making the silage, 100% of our silage is coming from grass as opposed to the other 2 options. And then we're just going to make an infinite amount of that. I'm actually going to change that a little bit, and let's put any grass in storage above 100 kilograms it will actually take. We'll see if that works. There's been a lot of bugs around the silage, so we'll see if that works out the way we want it to. But now, let's come back in here and run this guy back up to the max. You can see when we come in now, he is at plus 25. So we're actually going to make more silage than we would before, simply because he has that higher rating on the industry side of things. Okay, now we come in, and our last one to worry about, we've got our cows, and he's already a 5 out of 5, so nothing to upgrade there. Looks like he's carrying some manure into storage. All right, so that takes care of part of what we've got. We're going to give this guy a little bit of time to see if he can't get busy moving a lot of this silage into storage. Hopefully he will. If he doesn't, then we may have to get a brand new game start because that was a definite point of contention and a lot of issues regarding that. Okay, another thing we need to do is we need to get started on some training. There's a lot of training, and you can go a lot of different ways with this. We are going to start out by using some of these shorter ones. We're not ready for machines yet, so we're not going to worry about their durability just yet. And ultimately, we'll want to do this one, but that's going to take a long time, so we'll save it. Right now, we're going to increase the strength of our employees. That will allow them to do more work before they are required to go rest. So we'll get that started. And then also, along with our bees, we need to take a look at across the top of the screen. There's a lot of room up here to take a look at some different products that we are currently making. We know we've got honey, so let's go ahead and let's add honey to that list. All right, so we've got, oh wow, that is shaking all over the place. We've got multi-flower honey, which is what we're making right now. Then I'm going to go back and add two other types, which is the buckwheat honey. And then I'm going to add the, where'd it go? I'm going to say colza. I'm actually not familiar at all with this type. The colza honey, so hopefully I'm saying that right, or at least fairly close. So there are three types of honey. We're only making the multi-flower honey right now, but we're going to take care of that here in a matter of minutes. And actually, in preparation for that, let's go ahead and get some more housing down. Let's get as close as we can here. There we go. So we'll let that go ahead and get started. So we've got our storage here with a little bit of honey going right now. The honey is just getting started. Here we are in spring. We're coming up on halfway through spring. So we're just now starting to get into honey production on a very real basis. So what I'm actually going to do is actually a couple of things. Let's see. Given where we are, let's go ahead and put down a couple of small fields here. And what we're going to do with these fields, and I'm going to have some workers to work these fields, but also what we are going to do is we are going to plant some buckwheat. Let's see, let's get some buckwheat seeds. Let's see, well, we'll go ahead and get 100. They'll last a long time before they go bad. So, and they're only $50, so we'll go ahead and get that. So buckwheat seeds, go ahead and get that. And then we need our colza seed. Now it's a lot more expensive. I'm actually going to get only about half on there. We're not going to need very much, but we'll get a little bit of that as well. So our guys will come in, they'll add our seeds. There we go. They're working on our housing right now. Let's see. They haven't brought our seeds. No, they're both in delivery. This may be a delivery truck right here. Actually, yep, looks like it is. And there we go. So now we have our seeds in both those, but we don't have any workers just yet. So we need to find some workers. Let's go ahead and find some really good workers. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. The harvest. Okay, there's another good one. Still fairly cheap, $5.31. So we're going to get, let's see, how do we want to do this? Let's go ahead and just get 2 for right now. Okay, we'll go ahead and train them to be full. But really what we're concerned with right now is we're going to go ahead and take care of that. And let's get these fields plowed and cultivated. Now, for these two particular fields, the buckwheat and the colza, we're not interested in... Oh, there we go. Let's go ahead and get some more training started. We're not interested in their yields. What we're interested in is getting these flowers planted so that they can allow our bees to make the other 2 types of honey. So right now we're only making 1 type of honey. We want to make all 3 types of honey at the same time, which will of course greatly increase our ability to make money. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and put down quite a few additional ones of these. Let's go ahead and speed up things a little bit. Oh, we need to start our new training. All right, increase the strength. So let's go ahead and do that once again. It only takes 7 days, so we're not going to worry a whole lot about that. So as long as we've got these, the buckwheat and the colza nearby, then we will greatly increase our production of honey. Okay, so let's go in and let's actually make sure that we've got auto sell. So we've got honey right now, which will last a long time, actually quite a bit longer than that in real life, but And let's set up our auto sale. So we want these to be sold, and right now it will be twice a month. And we want to sell all of them. We could sell up to, for instance, if I put a 5 in here, that it would allow us to keep 5 in storage all the time, and it would take any amount above that. We want to sell all of them as they're created. We're going to do the same thing with cow's milk. Now, silage we need to keep, so we don't want to do anything there. The buckwheat honey, we're going to do the same thing here. And let's see, let's scroll down a little bit. We should be able to get the colza honey. There it is. So we're going to sell all of that as well. Okay, so that should take care of all of the products that we have right now. Let's add cow's milk to the list as well. So these are the products that we are currently making for sale. 3 types of honey as well as our cow's milk. And then we'll be expanding that as time goes on. Okay, let's go ahead and speed things up so we can get some of this construction done. Okay, there we go. We don't have anybody hired just yet to take care of this, but all right, we'll go ahead and keep everything in line, even though I could get it a little bit closer. Let's go ahead and keep everything in line. Okay, so that should be 10. Yeah, there we go, 10 out of 10. So now let's come back in. Let's hire another employee. Okay, we need a beekeeper. There's a 5 out of 5, but they're pretty expensive. Okay, same thing here. I may have to deal with that, looks like. May have to deal with somebody who's a little bit more expensive. Again, 5 out of 5. But pretty expensive. There's $5.91. Looks like that's about the cheapest we're going to get. And the great thing is they have the strength as well. That is going to be very good for us. Okay, let's go ahead and max him out. Let's go ahead and max out the endurance as well. That will enable him to work longer before having to go back and rest. Okay, so that'll be great as well. So what we're doing now is we are essentially setting ourselves up to make as much money as we can off of the beehives while they are producing. And the reason I put it that way is, of course, we know there are the seasons in the game. So we have the 4 seasons. We are just now getting toward the middle of spring. And the bees will make honey until about the middle of autumn or fall, somewhere in that neighborhood. That's not an exact figure because it seems like in other playthroughs I've done, I've seen them stop somewhere around the 1/4 mark of fall or autumn. So it's not an exact thing that I've been able to tell, but somewhere in that neighborhood. At some point in the fall, they will actually stop producing. So we're going to have to do something during the wintertime. Well, one of those things that we're going to do will be we'll still have the animals, in this case, producing the cow's milk. But that's where we're going to want to get into the greenhouses. And once we get into the greenhouses, we will be in very good shape. All right, so it looks like they're still working on the plowing. The good news is we're only going to have to do this 1 time per year, and then we're just going to let it ride from that point forward. Okay, let's see if we can find another worker. Hopefully fairly cheap. There we go, 487, only 1 out of 5, but of course we can very easily remedy that. In fact, let's go ahead and do that right now. There we go. Let's go ahead and slow down time now that we've got our worker in here. Let's go ahead and put down these hives. So I've tried out multiple different ways of laying these hives down. A couple of rows of 5. I've tried rows of 3. I've tried, all sorts of different things. It sort of depends on how you want to lay out your farm. If you're really into laying out everything for efficiency, then you're definitely going to do it differently than what I'm doing here. Let's see, are we done? Yes, we are done. Now let's go ahead and actually we are going to go ahead and plant, because again, I don't care about the efficiency of this. That is not what I'm in it for. Now we're getting a message, and it says you don't have the proper warehouse building or enough space in the warehouse. Of course, we have plenty of space in the warehouse. We don't have the proper building for this particular type of plant. And that's okay, because again, we're not planting this for those purposes. Instead, we're doing this simply so that we can get more honey made. That's why we're doing this. So we're going to simply ignore that message. It's going to come up every time. Well, if I could remember to hit the shift key properly. There we go. Let these go ahead and get built, and then we will have all of those done. And then of course that will also mean that we will have all of our permanent worker housing filled up. Okay, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want it to be. You can see up at the top we're getting more milk that's coming in. So everything is going along perfectly fine. That reminds me, let's go ahead and let's add silage up here at the top. Once we get down pretty low on silage, all right, it looks like he is starting to empty this out. And yeah, he's getting a little bit more in there. So he's taking care of things slowly but surely. But as we start to get low on silage, I want to make sure that I purchase some more grass so that we can keep that process going and we don't get too low. Because one of the things we're going to be doing is we're going to continue to expand the animals that we are working with, and they will also be eating silage. Okay, let's come back over. We need to hire another worker, and let's see what we can find. $8.39, that is way more expensive than I'm interested in. Okay, $6.47, not bad. $4.41, there we go. That's who we want. Okay, let's go ahead and get them in and then max out their skills first thing. Okay, now we'll need to get the honey, get these hives going. And also looks like we're done planting on our first field. So you can notice up at the top of the screen that the buckwheat honey is starting to flow in. There you go. Buckwheat honey is starting to be made. Let's see, we haven't hired anybody yet. Okay, let's go ahead and get started plowing. So really I'm taking a very minimalist approach down here. So this buckwheat, I'm going to allow it to fully grow, and then once it grows and it's ready to be harvested, I'm not going to be harvesting it. Because again, I want it to stay in the field as long as possible. All right, let's find hopefully another cheaper worker. Oh wow. All right, let's try that again. There we go. $4.94. That works for me. Anything under 500 I will take. And then we can always take care of the training, so we don't have to worry about anything there. Let's get some more training going. Let's see, reducing bills is always a really good thing. Cheaper workers also a good thing, but I'm going to continue. I'm going to go with the strength of workers because that's going to be important as we move forward, I think. Okay, let's go ahead and put out our hives. There we go. Now we'll do the same thing on this last one, then we'll go ahead and hire a couple of people. And this will be the end of our beekeeping section. At least for now. Who knows, we might come back and add some more later. All right, we're using the dirt roads. We could easily use the paved roads. And who knows, we might come back and upgrade those a little bit later on. Okay, so we have room for 2 more employees, and that's exactly how many we need. All right, let's see what we've got available. There we go. I'll take that one, 505. Anybody else in here while I'm looking? 538. Okay, that's not bad. Plus we get the strength upgrade. I'll take that. There we go. Fully upgraded. There we go. And as far as I'm concerned, long term, that is money very well spent to fully upgrade all of these workers. All right, so we're down to $142,000, and we have to make some decisions about where we're going to go next. I think I've got all of the wind energy that I want for right now. It is very lucrative and can do a lot of great things for you, particularly because you don't have anything to deal with, no workers to deal with, and no ongoing issues that you're going to have to manage. That's the great thing about it, regardless of how much it's making for you, as long as it's a reasonable amount. So now we have our B section. I've managed to waste a little room down here on this side because of my decision to put the main house right in the center. So what I'm going to do is actually expand down here on the bottom. So what I'm going to do, I'll tell you what, first thing I want to do is, let's see, I tell you what, we'll just keep with the program. We'll keep using the dirt road, even though I would not mind using the pavement a lot more. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with some greenhouses. And I'm going to put them right here on the edge. We're going to leave a little bit of room. I'm not going to get too terribly worried about our layout. We've already made some questionable decisions. So I'm going to leave a little bit of space here. There's 2, 3, 4, and then finally one more for 5. We'll do a row of 5 here, and then go back to our dirt road motif. Okay, we'll give our workers something to work with there. And again, I fully plan on coming back to upgrade these later. But since we've already started with the dirt roads, I'll continue that for now. All right, so we're going to need several things, one of which is going to be more housing. So I'm actually going to put the housing right here nearby. Now, in real life, I don't think we quite want it this close to the road, but for now, that is going to be perfectly fine for us. Okay, a quick look across the top. And remember, twice a month, we're going to auto sell all of these things, except for the silage, of course. Okay, so I'm liking where we are so far. Okay, I just want to keep an eye on it and make sure that the auto sale is working out the way we want it to. Are we still making any silage? We are not. So you notice we have 70 kilograms in here. You have to have at least 100 in there for it to actually operate. So that 70 is going to sit there forever unless we add more to it. But you can see we got a ton of silage still sitting inside here. So we'll be adding some more grass here later on, but for right now, we just don't need it. Our cows are doing perfectly fine, producing the milk for us. All right, there we go. So now we have 3 homes for our permanent employees. The first 2 are taken care of. Another thing we need over here is I'm going to go ahead and put a warehouse. And the reason I'm going to put a warehouse over here is I don't want our greenhouse workers having to go very far in order to take care of what they need to take care of. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put, right there should be okay. Doesn't exactly line up with our grid system, but certainly not going to worry too much about that. All right, let's hire some workers. Now for this, we're going to need workers that have there. That's perfect. What I would ultimately love to have is also the strength out here next to it. And for that reason, I would be willing to pay a little bit more in order to have that strength with it. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that. So in that case, we'll just go ahead and take this, and that we won't worry a whole lot about it. Okay, let's go ahead and max that out. Okay, let's go back. We're going to need at least 3 more. Oh, I have forgotten something here. Let's go ahead and... I got busy and completely forgot it. There we go. Yes, we know that we don't have the proper warehouse building. We got it. No worries there. Okay, let's find another worker. Again, we're not worried about the machinery. We're not using anything like that for our purposes. Wow. Having a hard time finding anything here. Yeah. Nothing there I'm interested, so I'm just going to keep coming back out and going back in. I may have to use some of these. I would prefer not to. There we go. There's one. I need at least one more to get started. There we go. That'll work. Anybody else in here that I might be interested in? There's another one. I'll go ahead and hire you while I find you. Okay, that'll be enough for now. So I'm working on having 2 teams of 3. That's the whole point beyond that. Okay, let's go ahead and get these guys started. So in the top left, you can see that means we have 1 worker now that is not doing anything. Okay, we need to correct that. I want teams of 3. Not that expensive though. And if it turns out that I have to end up choosing somebody like this and sacrificing a little bit of the harvest, that's okay. It's not what I want to do for sure. But if I have to, then I end up just having to do so. But we're certainly not going to do that from the onset. All right, 692. Okay, 460, that'll work. So we need 1 more. Give me somebody else. All right, 482. Okay, yep, that'll work. Really wanted those strength upgrades, but unfortunately did not get them. All right, let's go ahead and max out everybody's planting. You can see we're using our money. We're down to 56,000, but that is okay. All of this will pay off long term, and that is really what we're planning for. Now here in just a moment, we're going to take a look at, okay, there's our 6, and I've gotten everybody, I think, maxed out. Yes. All right, so if we take a look inside our first greenhouse, you can see there's an option here to put in an irrigation system, but it costs $10,000. Now, long term, I would love to do that because it would keep us from having to worry about the moisture level. But for now, it kind of is what it is. We're short on money, so I'm going to bypass that option. Monetarily, it doesn't make sense, I don't think, to do it. Again, unless you're looking really long term and you just want to be able to avoid that step. But for now, we will have to deal with that. So we're going to have to go ahead and put down actually a couple of these we're going to have to put down. We're going to put down one right over, let's see, let's put it right in the center. Yeah, that should be perfect. Okay, and then we're also going to put down a well right over here. Let's see, can we put it like, yeah, right in there? That'll be really good. All right, so we're growing. The colza is growing, and the buckwheat. There we go. I wasn't getting the visual there. I didn't know the colza was actually growing. Okay, so that means we've got some workers that don't have anything to do. Okay, let's go ahead and get busy working on our second one. And actually, now that we have 2 additional workers that have been up here, what I'm going to have them do is just start working down here and just use them as fill-ins from place to place whenever I need some extra work being done. And maybe over time we might have some work that needs to be done. We'll have 2 extra workers that'll be able to do just that for us. But for now, we're going to continue to expand our greenhouses. We've got a total of 12 beekeeping locations right now, so that's a very good start there. We've got some animals going on right now. Of course, we've got some silage that we're working on. We've got a lot of stuff that is happening right now. In fact, manure is something we can sell also. So let's come in and sell that. We're not going to sell all of it. What I'm going to do actually is we're going to set up an auto trade for the manure, anything over 50. So I want you to leave 50 for me, and we're going to use that in our greenhouses. And if we run short on the manure, I'll simply buy some of the standard fertilizer, the chemical kind. So that's no big deal, but we get a little bit of extra income from that manure. Okay, let's go ahead and see if these guys are almost done. Let's go ahead and pin that, stick it over here in this corner. Then we're going to pin this one as well. And then finally we're going to pin this third one and put it over here in this corner. So I can keep track of, so the plowing is going on in all 3 of these. Of course, we're down a person on this particular area. But for right now, we are in very good shape. Still got 35,000 left to spend. And in fact, let's go ahead and start building some more things here. All right, 1, 2, 4, and 5. Okay, that'll take us down to 10,000. And of course, keep in mind, at the very beginning of each month, we will get the money coming in from the wind turbines. So that will come in as a lump sum at that point rather than coming in on a daily basis. Okay, so we're done plowing. Now we need to cultivate. And the good news about these greenhouses is based on what I'm going to plant in these, we are not going to have to worry about plowing and cultivating every time. Okay, there we go. We're done there. Let's move right along. Almost done plowing here. Okay, our training is done. Let's see what we've got up here. I'm probably not going to train. Oh, we just got our money. A large sum of money. You can see all of this was sold up at the top. That was our auto sale coming in. Now we're at 53,000, so we're good now. We can continue on about our regularly scheduled programming. And let's see, we could increase the strength by 30%. Let's actually go ahead and reduce our bills a little bit. Let's go ahead and start down that road. Again, any number of ways you can do the training. We'll eventually get to all of it or near all of it. Okay, plowing almost done there. Okay, now we're ready to cultivate. Oh, we've got a team of 3 now in there. It doesn't really matter to me. Cultivated. All right, so now we're going to need to, let's see. Oh, we can't water just yet. Let's go ahead and fertilize using the manure. Autofill with 2 people. As long as we're working on all of 3, I don't really care the breakdown in each of these. Right now, we're just trying to get them all planted. Just trying to get all 10 of these greenhouses planted. However that breaks down is perfectly fine with me. Okay, so we've got 1 fertilization going on and a couple of cultivations. And now we're up to 92,000 after we have now moved into June. All right, we have no workers available. Oh, we got 2 available. Let's go ahead and water over there and keep the water level high. Yeah, we're going to have to do the same thing on our other field. We don't want it to die. That's the only thing I really care about from this area. As bad as that might sound, I don't care about the crop health. All I care about is that they don't die. All right, let's go ahead and fertilize here with the manure, autofill, and go. All right, cultivated. We need to fertilize, manure, group of 2. And we've got one person not doing anything. Let's actually have them go ahead and water. Okay, so 92,000, and I am extremely tempted to hit this button right now. Extremely tempted. We may have to end up doing that because that's a step that I will easily forget. All right, so let's go ahead and sow. Let's see. Whoops, we haven't purchased anything just yet. So we need to decide what we're going to put in there. Well, we're going to put a few different things in there. We're going to start out with some strawberry seedlings, and I need to find out something real quick. On the strawberries, we need 177. Okay, we'll go ahead and grab those. We're almost done. So 177. Let's go ahead and get. Let's go ahead and get 400, and we'll let those be delivered. All right, so now we are ready to go with the planting. All right, so they're going to deliver, I believe they just delivered all of those. Yeah. And let's see, let's move all of those over. Okay, I'll back up in a second and I'll show you exactly how I did that. But for now, we need to hurry up and get going because these will go bad if we're not careful. Okay, there we go. So what I did is I saw the delivery take place up here to the barn. Okay, which was perfectly fine. I kind of thought it was going to do that. So what I did is I opened up the barn, I held down Shift, and what that did is it enabled me to open up that other menu once I clicked on the item I wanted to move, and then it asked me which building I wanted to put it in, and I selected this other storage. All right, how many more do we have? We have 49. So let's go ahead and buy. Let's just go ahead and buy 100, just to keep it simple. So we're not going to worry a whole lot about that. Okay, so we're growing on both of those. Let's just go ahead and get that done very quickly, get that watering taken care of. That's just an extra step that we shouldn't have to do very much at all. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and water both of those, and as soon as those are done, we'll move on to some others. All right, so let's see. Did it? Yep, it did. So Shift, hold, and there we go. Let's move all of those. And those move immediately. You don't have to wait for any vans to come and take care of anything like that. Okay, let's choose our strawberries. Let's see, we've got 149. Oh, 177. Okay, so I didn't order enough. I had a different number in my head. Just go ahead and buy an extra 100 of those. Okay, let's get rid of these guys. Now we need to start working on our others. Okay, we're going to go ahead and keep this one up there. Same thing with this one. And we'll start working these as well. So we'll plow, cultivate, then we will fertilize, we'll add the water, and then as these continue to grow, once we get full growth and then we're able to get our first harvest, we won't have to go through plowing and cultivating anymore, and probably won't have to fertilize or add water very much at all. I haven't had to in other playthroughs, so that is a very good thing. All right, let's go ahead and get to work planting. All right, so we're running low on time. It's very hard to keep these episodes short because it's so much fun to play this game. There's so much going on. We're making so much money. You can see we're up to 136,000 now. I mean, just take a look at all of the honey we're making. Just by virtue of having a couple of small fields in there, we're able to make all three types of honey and lots of it. We're making lots of money. We're making lots of milk. We still got plenty of silage. So if we come in and take a look at our financials, I don't really like this screen all that much because it doesn't give me the ability to really see what I want to see. There's not enough options. I would like to be able to narrow it down and only see the cow's milk, for example, or the honey, or whatever the case may be, and really narrow it down like that. But as far as I can tell, there's no way to do that. So I don't use this screen all that much for that very reason. But every once in a while, I'll come in here and just glance. For example, how much did we make from the wind turbines? A little over 54,000 on back on June 1st. So it is useful from that perspective. I do hope that they'll actually make this date format match the format in the top right hand corner, which matches, in my case, choosing Fahrenheit for the temperature, but that is a very small annoyance. All right, so let's go ahead and we're actually going to pause right here. You can see we're getting into a situation where things are going to heat up and we have run out of time. So I really appreciate you guys joining me. Thank you very much, and stay tuned next time as we continue our gameplay series of Farm Manager 2018.